You talked about the idea of being a chameleon, and that comes up a lot in this film, not only in the way that we see Oscar interact with people in his daily life, whether that be the interactions he has at work or at the store, I guess, or on the street or with his friends. But I think you're also playing with that idea for the audience, because the audience is watching this guy who we're seeing him in different environments. We're seeing him in intimate environments with his daughter, with his wife, or with his, with Safina. We're seeing him in jail. We're seeing him in so many different environments, and you're challenging the audience to question what they think he is, how they would define him. So tell me about how you sort of navigate or manipulate in certain ways as a storyteller those expectations, because I think you're doing that throughout the movie. But again, on screen with the other characters and also for the audience themselves.
Wow, that's really insightful. I think that for me, I always found people to be generally products of their environments, and that was a somewhat of a motif in this film. And Oscar's a different person depending on wherever he's at, like we all are. But he was, like I said, he was an exaggerated version of that. And on this day, he moves in and out of different types of environments. So, and for us, we define those environments as either natural, in the natural environments where when Oscar was around water, domestic, in domestic environments when Oscar was in his home, in his own home, or in his grandmother's house, or in Safina's, grandmother's house, and we define them as institutional, in the institutional environments are where Oscar has the most trouble, in this film. And what we wanted to do was shoot actually in the real locations. We wanted to let those environments kind of impact not only the actors but the cast and the crew and everybody that was moving in and out of those environments. The institutional environments that Oscar goes up against in this day are his job, the BART transit system. We see Oscar in prison, and we see Oscar go to the hospital, and like I said, being a chameleon, Oscar puts on a shell in these different places, and as an audience, we also get to see him move through those different places, and it was always so interesting to me because, I know how African American males are so often depicted in media. And I'm one myself, I wouldn't consider myself an expert, on being a young African American male. And
you wouldn't consider yourself an expert?
Yeah, I would actually. but
I know what you mean.
Yeah, no, it's interesting in what environments we're often shown in media. It's very rare that you see us in domestic environments. It's very rare that you see us in a restroom or in a kitchen, with our families, and all of us have families. All of us spend time in domestic environments. The environments that you often see us in are the industrial ones. You see us outside on the street. You see us incarcerated. You see us in those types of places. So it is something that I wanted to play with. And see Oscar moving in and out of those, and let the audience move in and out of those as well.
And struggling in each of those environments.
Yeah, exactly. He's not home in any of those environments. And that was something that we talked about with Mike. Like oftentimes the domestic environment where you would think you're safe, those environments are what drive him to make certain mistakes. That drive to want to provide for the people that he loves, that drive to want to protect the people that he loves, and not be honest with them for fear of letting them down. And we had the natural environments in the Bay Area. I think our culture is just like, it's funny, just like New York's culture. Like I would say that New Yorkers are extreme products of their environment. You guys are products of being located by the Atlantic Ocean and being a port city where all types of immigration, bumps off of different people. You guys have this incredible transit system where, no matter if you work on Wall Street or if you're a bum that's homeless, you get on the same train and hug up next to each other. So
whether we like it or not.
Whether you like it or not, hey, and no matter how wealthy you are, you walk past this trash that I've discovered is oftentimes holds rats. They kind of jump out and scare you a little bit every once in a while. But New Yorkers have this seen it all, done it all very knowledgeable, worldly mentality. In the Bay Area is also, our culture kind of comes from our environment. Being in we're the only Mediterranean climate in the country, and our weather can change at the drop of a hat, and just like everything can be all good on the train, and it can go bad in the drop of a hat, in the Bay Area. And we tend to be real laid back and relaxed and kind of calm, like our water. But sometimes it can get really treacherous. You know what I mean? So we also have a really diverse location. We are a port city as well. We're close to people, different all types of languages spoken, and cultural groups, and people mix in with each other. So that was what I wanted to explore.